I'm Amy. Standing in the middle of my family development and play center, I watched as Ryan and Melissa scurried out, their humiliation palpable. Just moments ago, Ryan had arrogantly announced that he was the new owner and intended to sell the place. Little did he know that he had signed away all his rights to my assets. It all started when I noticed the subtle changes in Ryan's behavior. He began coming home late, his phone always face down, and he'd step outside to take calls. One evening, when I reached into his jacket pocket, I felt a lipstick and 2 movie stubs. I was in disbelief at first, trying to come up with innocent explanations. But then, an anonymous email with a video attachment shattered any hope I had left. The video showed Ryan in a hotel room with another woman, their intimacy undeniable. I was devastated, but more than that, I was filled with a sense of clarity. I knew I needed to understand the full extent of the situation. That's when Andrew, a regular at the center with his young son, came into the picture. He had been observing me and the center for a while. One morning, when I was lost in thought behind the cafe counter, he asked if I was okay. Before I knew it, I blurted out that my husband was cheating on me. Andrew revealed that he had gone through a similar experience. His wife had left him because of the uncertainty in his job as a former criminal investigator. Now, he ran a private investigation firm. He offered to help me find out the truth, not for revenge, but for clarity. We came up with a plan. I told Ryan that I had inherited a property from my uncle on my mother's side, but it came with a mountain of debt. Ryan's reaction was immediate. He started asking about the debt amount, the repayment schedule, and any other issues. His tone turned sharp and calculating. That night, I heard him whispering on the phone, clearly distressed. The next morning, Ryan proposed that we transfer all my assets to his name to protect me from the creditors. He said it was only temporary. I played along, signing the papers slowly and deliberately. Little did he know that he was signing a waiver of all his marital claims to my assets. After signing the papers, he presented me with divorce papers, saying he didn't want to risk his future over my debts. I signed those too, calmly gathering my things and leaving the house. The next day, Ryan showed up at the center with Melissa, ready to take over and sell it. But when I confronted him with the truth about the papers he signed, the tables turned. Melissa was furious with Ryan, and the staff's laughter filled the room as the absurdity of the situation became clear. Looking back, I remember the early days of the center. I grew up in a family where my father, Robert, was a shrewd businessman. He built his wealth by carefully analyzing people and risks. I was always a disciplined child, finishing my homework early and asking thought-provoking questions. By my late 20s, I knew exactly what I wanted, to open a family development and play center. I sat across from my father in his office, presenting him with a well-thought-out plan in a slim folder. He was concerned at first, suggesting I open something simpler like a cafe or a salon. But I explained that there was a real need for a safe and meaningful place for children to grow while parents could have some time to themselves. He was impressed by my thoroughness and agreed to help me get started, though he made it clear that the work would be mine. Building the center was no easy task. I spent months finding the perfect location, one that met my standards for safety, accessibility, and a warm atmosphere. Cost was a factor, but not the deciding one. I personally chose all the equipment, ensuring it was safe and age-appropriate. Hiring staff was even more challenging. I interviewed dozens of candidates, looking for patience, attentiveness, and emotional stability. Training took weeks, and safety protocols were drilled into everyone. When the center finally opened, it was an instant success. Parents were eager to enroll their children, and the waiting lists grew. I expanded the programs, added a cafe, and introduced weekend activities. But the success came at a cost. I was constantly at the center, taking care of every little detail. I lost weight, had dark circles under my eyes, and was always tense. My father noticed my exhaustion before I did. He insisted that I take a real vacation. I went to San Diego, where I felt like I had entered another world. The air was warm and salty, and there were no deadlines. On the second afternoon, while I was lying on a lounge chair, a man named Jake approached me. He was a fitness and surf instructor at the resort. He invited me to try surfing, and I agreed out of curiosity. Jake was patient and encouraging. He guided me through the basics, and even though I fell many times, I couldn't help but laugh. We spent the next few days together, talking about travel, work, and just enjoying each other's company. I found myself opening up to him about how much responsibility had consumed my life. Our connection grew quickly, and before I knew it, I was in love. We got married soon after I returned to Boulder. At first, our life together was great. Jake found a job as a fitness trainer at a local gym, and I focused on expanding the center. But as time went on, I continued to grow in my role, while Jake seemed content with his routine. Small differences started to accumulate. Conversations would stall, and I found myself making decisions alone. That's when Lily, my college friend, started visiting more often. Her comments about my success and Jake's work always had a sharp edge to them. I didn't realize at the time that she had her eyes on Jake. Now, as I stand here in the center, watching it return to its normal rhythm, I feel a sense of peace. Ryan's reputation has crumbled, and he's no longer a part of my life. Andrew has become an important part of my days. We have long conversations, share meals, and his son has grown fond of me. 2 years have passed since that fateful day. I was shopping for groceries when I heard raised voices. It was Ryan and Melissa arguing. Their clothes were shabby, and their frustration was evident. Ryan looked up and recognized me. I simply nodded and walked away. My phone vibrated with a message from Andrew, asking if I needed anything. I replied that I'd be home soon. What remained after all the chaos was clarity. I learned that true security comes from setting clear boundaries and not from trying to control everything. Betrayal had revealed character, and silence had been more powerful than confrontation.